And a good Thursday, everybody. Welcome in Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. He's Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier. I'm Chase McCabe with you here on this Thursday at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Christian Skelton back at the studio on the ones and twos. And excited to be here at the Omni today. I haven't been here in a while. It's been a minute.
They've asked about you.
I know. They probably were like, is he okay? And I am. I'm glad to be back. I was very excited about being at the Omni today. To hang out, and we got a big show planned, including we're going to kick things off right away with the Bruschetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix that's coming to town. Will, how are you? Chase, good to meet you.
Nick, nice to meet you.
That's Nick.
Nice to meet you.
We're going to bring in NTT IndyCar Series driver Will Power, who is with us on the show now. What's going on? How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
You enjoying Nashville?
I am. Yes, I've been around a lot this morning at TV shows, and radio, and so on.
Race car drivers never have fun here. I just want you to know that. From NASCAR to IndyCar.
What, this particular?
No, in Nashville.
In Nashville?
Because there's nothing to do.
There is nothing to do, especially after the race. You go downtown, celebrate, especially if you win.
Yes, well, and I know you're hoping to do that on Sunday. How do you feel? I know this has been kind of a transition year for you of so long at Penske and now your new team. How do you feel like things are?
The second half, I mean, yes, the first half was quite rough with a ton of potential, led like 5 races and just, one thing or another, it didn't work out. But the last 3 races have been reasonable results, all in the top 10. And, I feel like I'm finally feeling very comfortable and at home in the car and the team. So I feel like our second half will be definitely better than the first half.
What is it, and I've asked this to different athletes in different sports, but for somebody like you that has competed at such a high level for so long to go through a change and obviously have the feeling out process, what does that do to your confidence as a driver? We know you're good. Yeah. Does it affect you at all, or do you understand like, hey, this was probably going to take us a little bit of time because you're working with a bunch of people you haven't worked with before?
Yeah, I think it's it's a lot of things. It's one is even just the most basic things of understanding where the buttons are on the wheel, right? You've had the same spot and same dials and everything for 17 years, and then even the brake pad. Of debriefs and how you work with your engineer. I was with the same engineer for 20 years. Like he come to a couple of different teams with me, and suddenly working with a new guy, and he's he was actually working with young drivers, so probably a lot of coaching involved there. So many different things. It's a very good team. They've got the resource. They got the people to win championships and races. It's all there, and I would say that a significant improvement in many different areas. They're already a really good team. They won on street courses a lot. They needed to improve on short ovals and all ovals in general and road courses, which I feel like taking a really good step there. And pit stops and we're quickest on pit lane last week. So like I said, all that stuff's just slowly coming into play, and they're only the probably 3rd year into what I would call a big budget team, since Dan Tara's took over the team, and we've got big sponsors, and we've got the money and resource to start competing with Penske and Ganassi. So all these things are coming into play now, and I feel like next year will be super strong.
Is it special for you knowing that you can be a part of taking them to that next level?
That's a part of the enjoyment with my experience and time in IndyCar and time with a really top level team like Penske. You learn a lot. You learn a lot on how teams, the sort of teams run, and some of the processes that they put in place. And it's just, it's taking what they already had that was good at Andretti, and then adding what my knowledge and working together to make a very good team. And like I said, it's very new as far as having the money to do some of these big development projects.
Will Power's here with us at the Omni Nashville Hotel, IndyCar Driver. When it comes to just the downtime in between races, how are you able to kind of decompress and just recollect your thoughts?
Yeah, it's I like when we get on a roll. It's just week after week, man. Like
Yeah.
we just sort of recover by Wednesday, and you're back on the road on Thursday.
So you're a creature of habit, which we love to hear.
I do like to get on that sort of roll. Like once you have a couple of weeks in between, you kind of reset. And I wouldn't mind racing every weekend. That would suit my nature. I like to get in the rhythm and start flowing. And I seem like I always go better and better as the season goes on because I just get on a roll. That seems to be.
I feel like
my
you're all like
personality.
that though.
Probably. Yeah,
Race car drivers, it just.
Yeah.
I mean, any sport.
Yeah.
You got to have kind of a routine and a rhythm.
Yes, I feel like there's different personalities, right? Like there's guys that plateau out, and then there's personality that looks further into details, finer detail, and they seem to just keep going and pick up little things that other people wouldn't, and end up just in a better place.
Sure,
with a higher performance.
I have to ask you this: Australia, from pronounce your home name Toowoomba, is that correct?
Yeah, Toowoomba. Yeah.
I worked a lot of overnight shifts at the radio station. I fell in love with NRL, National Rugby League. Okay. I know you're a Queenslander. Yeah. I don't know if you follow any of that in your downtime.
Yeah, I haven't for a long time. I haven't because
you race. Yeah,
just haven't watched
17 hours. Yeah,
it's I know the State of Origin was on recently, and Queensland did lose, which they've won a lot in the last few years. State of Origin is, for people who don't know, it's two states competing. It's a very fiercely fought out game each year, and there's 3 games, and it's the best of 3.
So equating to that, when you drive, I guess, what is the equivalent of that for you when you go up against certain drivers?
They're all good, man, now.
Yeah.
The level in IndyCar is incredibly high. Obviously, Alex Palou has set a standard that is
it's been incredible.
I've never seen anything like it, very impressive. But as a whole, it's so tight, so hard to consistently win or just win a race now or get a pole position. I've never seen the series in this state of quality of driver, quality of team. TV numbers are way up. Attendance is way up. It's in a very good spot.
We've got a video game they've announced.
Yes.
It's been a while for that. I mean, I do feel like as somebody that follows NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, IndyCar is probably in the best state it's been in a long time.
Oh, absolutely. I've been there 20 years, and I was there before the split. And they, the series, 2 series merged back together in 2008. And it has only progressively got better. But in the last 5 years, it's taken a steeper curve of, TV numbers, attendance, big events that we've created.
Sure.
It's very good stuff.
How much did you enjoy? Obviously, we loved having you on the streets of Nashville, and then with the new stadium moved out to the Speedway. But what is this market like? As we've seen success with NASCAR. Now I feel like there's a real big IndyCar market here too. So what's it like racing in Nashville?
It's a fantastic market for us here. Obviously, the street race was amazing. I'm not going to lie. That was, man, exactly where you'd want it, right near the city over a cool bridge. That was epic. Obviously, the stadium being constructed meant that we couldn't race there for now. We're hoping to go back, but the Speedway is a really great track as well. Cement track, or high grip, really good racing. Close enough to the city for people to get to, and a destination for people to go. It's not just going to a race. You can go to Nashville. You can obviously so much to do in this city. So very good market for us.
Well, when it comes to from going race to race, like you were talking earlier, and obviously football players in the NFL, they study their playbooks. So when you mentioned hard service and so forth, are you studying that as well throughout each week?
Definitely. You're on simulators. I was on the sim last week, and massive, $10 million simulator where this thing moves around in a room with a huge screen 360. And the track's exactly the same. So you're trying all these different setups and stuff that, areas you thought you struggled last year, we should change this and that. You're vetting them on the sim, the things that you'll do in practice when you had practice on Saturday. A lot of video, a lot of data study, incredible the amount that goes into a race before you even get in the car.
When that happens, like you try different things out in the simulator and like you go into a race and actually the same situation happens, do you feel like you have the answers to the test? You're like, oh my goodness, let's do this thing.
There's definitely, yes, I've learned, particularly like home simulators where you're doing, iRacing is really big now. And
Sure.
It's an online sim and the tracks are scanned so they're exactly as the real tracks. Like the moves that you would pull in the sim are the same moves that you'd pull in real life. Yes, there are those cases. The sim that we use, like the big sim in a room, is no other cars. It's just betting actual true setups and situations. So yes, it is about vetting different philosophies on setup and how do they feel on simulator. Is this positive or negative? Yeah.
There was a few years ago that iRacing they put the Indy cars on Talladega. And I did that. And even in a simulator, I'm like, I'm doing like 250, down the backstretch. There's no way I think that could ever happen in real life. But
it would be an insane race.
Oh,
it would be very,
nuts.
very unsafe, but it would be an insane race because our cars definitely hurt a lot more when we hit, I think. Yeah.
But the safety has come
Big
a
time.
long way.
I agree. Yes.
Unfortunately, I remember when Dan Weldon passed away. And I feel like since then we've seen a lot of improvement in these cars. I mean, the fact that you guys have the shield, the windscreen now is
the biggest
huge.
advancement in safety, and since I've been in the sport, I think it's the biggest advancement almost since seatbelts.
Yeah,
for us,
right?
Like our head isn't exposed anymore. Incredibly thick glass and a halo. You got the post in front of your head, so. I would say the last two fatalities, like Justin Wilson, Dan Weldon and Justin Wilson, would have been prevented by that, by the screen, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, and we just had the 25th anniversary of Dale Earnhardt's death in NASCAR. And, something that they have had is they haven't had a fatality in a race since then because of so I love seeing the advancement in safety in all of racing. Because, we love it as fans. You guys love it as drivers, but we want you to be able to get out of the car no matter what happens.
It actually makes the racing better. You're willing to take a bit more of a risk when you feel like you're a bit safer. So, that's good and bad. But it has been – I can't tell you the difference also from the last 20 years, like you say, in advancement. I mean, even in safer barriers and just every time someone got – like Hinchcliffe when he had the wishbone go right through him. I mean, that was another big safety advancement. Okay, they've added a plate there so that can't happen. And any of that stuff. I think Bourdais broke his pelvis, and then the cockpit became stronger. So there's this constant upgrades.
When you drove for Penske, obviously Roger had the NASCAR team and the IndyCar team, and we talk about safety, two totally different cars, but were the two sides sharing information about, hey, Logano was in a wreck. This was what the telemetry showed. Will was in a was there any crossover and kind of talking about safety innovations when it came to the cars and the tracks?
On headrests, yeah. I remember talking to the guy that built the NASCAR headrests on what we should build for Indianapolis. IndyCar supplies a certain amount, and then you add paddings and so on. But man, I can't move on super speedway. I can't move my head. I don't want any acceleration. I've got like 1 inch of movement with the Hans device. The headrests have become a long way too. A ton when you hit the wall. It used to be hard, man.
Right.
Yeah. Now it's like a pillow. So they've made great strides in many areas.
Yeah, Will Power, IndyCar driver, is with us here on the Jason McJoe Show. When it comes to your profession, what got you into it initially? Because obviously you've been in it for so long. Some people kind of forget their coming of age story when they get into the career if they're chose for.
Well, yeah, I was 6 years old in a go kart, but before that was my dad who had an open wheel car. He raced, was got a Formula 2 car.
Yeah.
And I just was a little kid, just absolutely mesmerized by racing. My dad raced, was my hero, and watching that, and then put us in go karts and so on and so on. So, honestly, as early as I can remember, this is what I wanted to do.
What's he meant for you throughout your career, just as a support system, along with just in general?
My dad?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, dad. Yeah, without dad, I wouldn't have made it
Yeah.
anywhere. He's the one that put me in a go kart. First time I ever drove an open wheel car, he took me down. I mean, he was there, the whole way until I left the country. So, massively lucky to have parents like that.
When you're in the off season, do you go back to Australia? Do you try to take some time to just decompress from everything and just try to reset?
I go back for 2 or 3 weeks a year.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, just to see my parents and brothers. Yeah.
Is that tough on your body, like the jet lag or anything like that?
It's definitely a tough jet lag, that one. It's worse coming back. Going, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
Coming back for whatever reason against the sun is tough.
17, like we said, 17 hours. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's a long run. What would be the key for you guys to get the victory? Obviously, you're going to have to fight your former teammate, Nashville's own Joseph Newgarden. But what would be the key for you guys to get the win this weekend?
It would obviously having a good car, which Colton Herter won a couple of years ago. So the team, I think, has a good setup there. These days, no mistakes in the pits, a good strategy, good restarts, obviously a good car, and making no mistakes as a driver out on the track. Like, it's very hard to win. But I feel like we've been in a position a few times this year, and a mistake has made it not happen. So, it is about that, just taking a slight step down and letting it unfold.
Well, Will, we appreciate you joining us today. It's good to meet you. Good luck this weekend, and we'll talk again soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Will Power, IndyCar driver, joining us. Well, more coming from the Omni, chasing Big Joe, 105 The Game. game on this Thursday. Appreciate NTT IndyCar Series driver Will Power for joining us on the program as the Bruschetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix coming to town, Nashville Super Speedway. It is this weekend. All of our coverage, which you can hear it starting at 4 o'clock on 102.5. The game is presented by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, and Big Shots in downtown Nashville. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, and Big Shots here in downtown Nashville. And you can watch or listen to that race on 102.5. The game starting at 4. So really looking forward to it, and we'll give away some tickets here in just a little while to the Bruschetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix. The Nashville Predators and the rest of the National Hockey League schedule has been released. We knew they were going to open the season the first time for, well, not the first time, but for the Predators, the first time, 84-game schedule, and they will play the Minnesota Wild October 1st to at home to open the season. But the rest of the games have been out, 42 home, 42 away. They'll play the Central Division 4 times, twice at home, twice on the road, which includes that home opener, and the season finale April 10th against the Dallas Stars. So they open and close at home. They're going to have 13 afternoon games at Bridgestone Arena. Which is going to be really cool. They're going to have 4 weekday afternoon contests in Smashville. November 27th against Utah at noon. November 30th, which I believe is that Black Friday?
It might be.
Yeah. November 30th versus Ottawa at noon. They will play New Year's Day against the Florida Panthers at 1 o'clock. January 20th against the Vancouver Canucks at 1 o'clock. So some midday games.
Black Friday's 27th.
Okay, so that's the 27th. And then the 30th
is a Monday.
Yeah. So that will be really cool to see. But excited about that. Here are my takeaway. They got 11 back-to-backs, by the way, for the year. The longest homestand and road trip, the longest homestand will be 6 games, February 23rd through March 2nd. And they will have 2 5-game road trips, November 10th through the 17th and March 9th through the 17th. Some of my takeaways on this schedule, they got 2 home games to start the season, but they are not easy. Minnesota and Dallas, 2 Central Division opponents. Those are 2 really tough games. Hit the road for 3 to Canada in the East, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa. Come back to Smashville against Vegas and San Jose and St. Louis. Quick road trip to Boston and Pittsburgh, and then back for 5, Colorado, Islanders, Capitals, Lightning, and the defending Stanley Cup champion, Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh, boy.
That is the first month plus a day of the season. And I can tell you that is not easy.
No.
That is not an easy draw by any means. But here's what else I'll tell you. You're going to know what this team is pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because you survive that gauntlet, I think you're going to think, and they're going to think, we might not be too bad. You don't, then that's where conversations are going to be had of, are there more changes that need to be made?
That first 20-game stretch there for the Preds, 15, 20 games, do you think that better suits a younger roster at the beginning of the season or more of a veteran-esque roster?
I think this is where guys like O'Reilly and Stamkos and Forsberg and Yossi will really help you because they're going to look at this and go, woof, but they know how to get through this. The question is going to be when you get to November 10th, they head west for a 5-game road trip, which is unofficially referred to as the CMA road trip when the CMA awards come here. And really, it's at Colorado, home against St. Louis, and then 5 on the road. Then they come back for 1 against Pittsburgh after that, and then they go to Dallas. So I think after that road trip, that's when you kind of do the evaluation of, all right, where are we in the standings, right? Who's performing well from a veteran standpoint? Who's performing well from a young player standpoint? They're going to look at the coach. I mean, that's where all that evaluation would start because that would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You're more than 20 games in at that point. And that's typically when you kind of know what you are or aren't.
My big to do about the schedule, along with implementing preseason this a little bit, because you only have 4 games to really prepare for the regular season. Yes, it's going to have an opportunity for the younger players to make a statement to be on this roster. My big issue is if there are, let's say, a handful of players that are really showing up and playing at the highest level possible with this top team for the Preds, how much of that does Brunette put into factor saying, you know what, maybe we do keep you up instead of putting you back down to Milwaukee?
Well, I mean, look, I think Chris McFarland's going to kind of dictate that. I mean, I think whatever the roster is coming out of training camp, you're going to ride with that. And look, if they're winning, if they're competitive, even in losses, I think, so many times we want to say it's about winning and losing, and it is. But even in a loss, if you're hanging there and you're in the game and it's back and forth and it's competitive and, you lose on a goal at the end,
right?
That's a part of the evaluation too. Now, you lost, but I think you're going to look at how are you losing? How are you winning? Sometimes you win a game and you just get lucky.
Yeah.
So it's going to be all about the play on the ice in those first 15 to 20 games. And if you have seen, because they've had some really bad starts the last few years.
Yes, they have.
If they have another bad start this year, changes are coming. They are.
Yeah.
You got a new GM that, and when we talk to him, I mean, he wants to evaluate. He doesn't. Now, he's made changes. He's brought in a lot of new players, but I think he wants to look at his squad, see how it's meshing with the coaching staff.
Right.
And if you're seeing good things, then you ride it out. And your next, you'd be around American Thanksgiving. That's an evaluation point. And then you get to the All-Star break, and then you get to the trade deadline.
Getting to the goaltender conversation of this, because you mentioned 11 back-to-backs, the first handful of games, 15 to 20 games, not an easy stretch for them. How do you see that percentage of distribution being more UC Saros or more Eustace Ononen?
I think that is a really, really good question. I don't know. I mean, I think that's going to be a discussion that Chris McFarland and Andrew Brunette are going to have about, because I think sometimes you can't look at the contract.
That's very true.
And you look at how Eustace Ononen played towards the end of the year, where he was taking starts away from UC Saros.
They rolled him the last game to get into the playoffs potentially.
Do you then go, hey, we're probably, I still think you're going to lean heavy on Saros, but, instead of, I'd have to look in how many games he played last year, but, let's just say instead of 55, maybe you dial that down to 47.
Yeah.
Or 50 or whatever. I think if you're Brunette, you're going to look at which one's going to give me the best chance to win. Because the thing is, I think both goaltenders could have used some help defensively in front of them, and they didn't really do a whole lot as of yet to address that. McFarland went after it, looking at the forward group, trying to get more center depth, which, again, was something they needed to do. But you're going to have a lot of the same guys back on defense. What does that mean? Do you have guys like Barron, Ufko, maybe Mullendijk, falls into it, Willsby? Are they better? How improved are they going to be?
Mm-hmm.
We'll find that on training camp, but I think that certainly will factor into it.
Yeah, just seeing the additions they made this past offseason, and it just seems obviously glowingly positive. But when it comes to, like you mentioned there, the defense pairings, they're basically the same for the most part. How much of the new additions are going to help, I guess, elevate the defense pairings? That's my biggest thing. Because you have Maverick Bork coming in, you could flex him as a center or a winger. I think that's something that is a big thing to, I wouldn't say worry about, but keep your eyes and ears open about. And obviously Matthew Wood being a young talent as well.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I think it's hard to answer that now.
Yeah.
It's. I think I need to see training camp. I need to see a few games. By the way, all these games you can hear on 102.5 The Game.
Ooh.
But I don't know. I think that, again, I think you could probably take a notepad and have a bunch of questions on it that we're not going to be able to answer for a while.
Very true.
And that's just where it is. I think, the easy answer for a lot of people would be, I don't know if this team's going to be great this year.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know. You've seen crazier things happen, but I will be very curious to kind of watch how they deploy some of this in training camp, and then in the preseason and the early part of the 84 game regular season. So again, the Predators schedule is out. We're kind of breaking it down. What do you think about it? 615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. 84 games for the first time in Predators history. They will play this year. 42 at home, 42 on the road. So
even number.
Going to be pretty cool to see. 615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We are live at the Omni Nashville Hotel, proud sponsor of the Chase and Big Joe Show on 102.5 The Game. Jason Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Thursday, live at Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel. The 26-27 Nashville Predators schedule is out, and we have been talking about that. Again, the first 20 games, certainly going to be tough. You're going to see the Central Division 4 times each, 2 at home, 2 on the road this year with 84 games. Some other highlights that kind of stuck out to me. It looks like they only go to Vegas one time. So if you're trying to plan a Vegas trip around seeing Predators, our buddy Ricky has texted me and said 84 games. I like it more to bet on. So there you go, Rick. Friday, November 13th. So Friday the 13th, they are at Vegas. So you could do a little weekend to Vegas and see the Preds and the Golden Knights.
Las Vegas on Friday the 13th. That sounds a recipe for disaster.
That could be interesting. The night before Thanksgiving at Dallas, and then Black Friday will be a noon start against Utah here.
Okay.
So been a while since they've played at home on Black Friday, which will be cool to see. And as we mentioned, they'll have that, and then they go to Detroit, so that's a back-to-back, and then a noon game on Monday, November 30th against the Ottawa Senators at Bridgestone Arena as a part of a 3-game homestand. So they'll play a noon game on Monday against Ottawa, and then Thursday and Saturday against Chicago and Columbus before another 4-game road trip to out west. They'll hit St. Louis, a little bit of Western Canada, and then Seattle. And I've seen this a couple times where they'll do a home and home. When you get around the holidays, the last game before Christmas will be a home game against Winnipeg on December 22nd, and then they play the day after Christmas against the Detroit Red Wings. So I feel like it was always the 27th, but yeah, they will play a home game on Saturday against Detroit.
I like seeing Detroit on the schedule again.
Yeah.
Has a little bit of flavor of old Nashville a little bit.
Yeah, and then playing New Year's Day at home against the Florida Panthers at 1 o'clock. So I like seeing that. No New Year's Eve game, but they will play New Year's Day during the day at home before heading out to Carolina on January 2nd. So that'll be cool.
When you look at this schedule, Chase, and this is what I like to do when I see schedules when they release. I try to compartmentalize the schedule into like quarters or compartmentalize them into just small groups. Where in each month do you see the Preds needing to capitalize on a lot of these games?
Probably all of them.
I mean, yes, all of them. But
no, I think the first quarter of the season is going to be the most important because that's you're going to decide what you are.
Sure.
And, Barry Trotz always said it. Chris McFarland has said it. The players are going to tell you, kind of what we are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is certainly the last. I mean, look, they could be fighting for a playoff spot potentially after the trade deadline. Around the trade deadline, you're going to have a 6-game homestand. I think you really have to capitalize on that.
Yeah. I just think if you can weather the storm in the first half of the season before the Thanksgiving, playoff deadline or whatever that Elliot Friedman likes to put out there, if you can weather the storm there and just be about, 5 games above 500,
yeah,
you should be in a decent position,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And you'd be able to just attack the second half, rock and roll, and see if you can just make a real good push for the playoffs that way.
Yeah, I certainly would agree with that. So, again, you can go to the Predators have put it up on their website. We'll have it on thegamenashville.com as well. But the Predators 26-27 schedule, 84 games. They start on October 1st at home against Minnesota in the regular season, Saturday, April 10th at home against the Dallas Stars. So nice little bookend of the season at home against Central Division opponents. We'll have more coming here from the Omni Nashville Hotel. Chasing Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier. Max Hers will join us at 1:30 as well to kind of talk more about this schedule. That is all I had. Chasing Big Joe, 105 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Thursday. I have to give a clap to the Nashville Predators social media team. Their schedule release video is pretty good.
It's up there. It's up there with the Titan Street video. It really is.
Yeah. No, and I feel like we've seen hockey teams kind of do this the last few years. Obviously, the NFL started it with the release videos. They make fun of themselves. They hit on current events. Luke Evangelista is heavily featured.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Using I guess air quotes a advertisement for them.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic for Evangelista. They did the SNL skit that they talked about last year. You get a little redo of that. They had a little Storage Wars action in there.
Yep.
I remember watching that as a kid. They opened up with the Vegas Golden Knights, and it was on the box. Fantastic job by the Preds. A+ work.
No, this is good. You can go. I just retweeted it. You've retweeted it. They put it out there. They teased it yesterday. Like changed everything to black and white Luke Evangelista, and I was like, "What is this about?" But that's pretty well done.
I really thought that it was a true like Evangelista like cologne line or whatever it is, because I believe his cousin or his aunt, somebody's in the fashion industry in Canada. I think Linda Evangelista, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and look online, but that's fantastic. Good on the Preds, man.
Yeah, that's good. Now I just need look, now that they have the schedule, let's watch them go win a bunch of games.
Yes,
that's what we need to see. So 615-737-1025 is the phone and text line if you want to weigh in on that and their 84 game regular season schedule.
His aunt is a model, Linda Evangelista.
Okay, so that's who it is?
Yes.
All right.
So now we know where he gets his good looks from. Obviously his mom, but I mean, look.
Pretty boy Vincenzo.
It's in the family. Runs in the family.
You were asking me, too, about, like, some other key, I look at the kind of after the first of the year, they're on the road a lot.
Yes.
They got 3 January 7th through the 10th on the road at Winnipeg, Minnesota, Colorado. Back here for 2, go up to New York for a couple, and then they got another West Coast trip.
So the 30th of January when they take on Anaheim, is that 7 o'clock Central? So then they'd play 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Anaheim. Is that right?
It'd be 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Yeah. Sorry, 2 hours. 2 hours. There we go.
Yeah, and then they're going to confuse us even more if they keep daylight savings time, which they need to do.
Yeah.
But
my time's already messed up. I wake up at 4:30 sometimes. I'm like, I thought it was 6:30. It's just gross. But, I mean, good for the Preds. Looking at that month of January, like every Saturday game is away. Do you think that benefits them that they're on Saturday? The away games are on Saturday because you have kind of all week to prepare, and then you can kind of get on a flight Friday and go out there?
Yeah.
Or get there Thursday and,
It doesn't hurt for sure. Yeah, so I like this. Go to Buffalo on the 16th and then the Islanders on the 18th, which is a 2 o'clock start. They got they got a couple of Mondays that are going to start like midday.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Good for us.
Oh, yeah, great for us. I mean, everybody's going to be listening, but also just good for the branding in general because, I mean, you have a lot of overseas fans now. I think the international series the Preds have gone through the last couple seasons is really
and that was something that they talked about last year, wanting to do more of.
Yeah, and I think they've really done a good job with that you now have the engagement overseas of not just, Sweden or Switzerland. You're getting other countries involved, which is fantastic. And also, too, you ride the momentum of 4 nations, the Olympics as well. You had the IIHF this past summer. It's all coming together really well.
As Max Hers, who will join us at 1:30, pointed out, the Preds play at home on opening night, Halloween, Black Friday, the day after Christmas, New Year's Day, the season finale, and 5 of the last 6 games of the season.
That's great.
So that is – take advantage of that, which I think is going to be a very good thing.
And I got a good feeling about this team, Chase. Like I said, if they can weather the storm in the first half and make a true run for the playoffs, having the last 5 of the 6 games be at home, there are going to be some fans out there that want to be seeing this Nashville Predators team. They're going to be trying to find the hottest ticket in town when it come April. It's just going to be one of those things that you're like,
I hope so. I mean, look, I think every Nashville sports fan wants to see both the Titans and the Predators join Nashville SC and be good.
Yeah.
You know, like how cool would it be to talk about all 3 of your major pro sports teams being in contention?
That's what you want.
And look, I mean, they may not necessarily make it, but if they're there and they are, you know,
in the conversation,
then you know you're getting better.
Exactly. That's what Chris McFarland is here to do. He's here to make sure they're in the conversation. He's here to make sure that there are playoff games to be had in Nashville. I mean, we're approaching 10 years now since the Stanley Cup final. That's wild to think about.
Yeah.
There needs to be a golden sea on Broadway, and I think there are a lot of fans that are yearning for that.
Yeah, I think so too. So I hope that, you know, some of the 9264 says every back-to-back is traveling is tough. No home and home unless I miss one. I think they're right. A lot of the back-to-backs are home and then away, or away then home.
Yeah.
There's travel involved.
I don't see any home back-to-backs at all. There's that November back-to-back with the Kings and Anaheim on the 10th and 11th.
Yep.
And you have March, Chicago and Dallas. That'll be a bit of a stretch.
They'll have about 10 days off, but in February. They'll play at Utah on February 2nd and then won't play again until they're at Bridgestone Arena February 13th against the Anaheim Ducks, which will be a 12:30 game.
You know, to the texture's point about having any home back-to-backs, I would say it benefits the Preds because there are games in February, like you just alluded to, on the 16th, have a day off the 17th, come back on the 18th and play another game. That middle day is a good time to really, you know, go and get, you know, any treatment you need at the facility and or watch a little extra film. I mean, I'm not a hockey player, but, you know,
You're not.
The natural instincts of an athlete, that's kind of what you want. You want to have a middle off day to really regroup yourself.
Yeah. But they're right. I mean, I can't see – there's pretty much all the back-to-backs involve travel. So that's not easy. But
I just got the numbers, by the way, for Ananen and Saros with the split last year. Saros had 59 regular season games, and Ananen had 29. So,
I think that changes.
Okay.
So how many for Saros?
He had 59.
I bet that goes down. I don't know if it goes to 50, but it could.
52-ish?
Yeah, 52, 53, somewhere in there. But again, I don't know. They may say, no, we want to play on it and more.
Yeah, to your point, like with, you know, the
you
whole
have 2 extra games to work with, and that may not seem like a lot, but that does matter.
Yeah, to your point about Andrew Burnett riding the hot hand.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then there you go.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just find it interesting. Ananen had a 10-12-2 record, 268 goals against average. So it was over a 900 save percentage, 906, which is a good thing.
Yeah. 615-737-1025. We will get into some other things coming up in a few minutes, and then Max Hers will join us at 1:30. Brandy says every single one of my breaks is home game, and my perfect Canadian road trip is a week before fall break. Time to get creative.
All right.
Okay.
There you go, Brandy.
All right. I like the idea of having like some midday home games. I think that's going to be cool for the international market, but it's, you know,
it gives something
find a way to get out of work.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I got to get my tonsils taken out. I'm down at Bridgestone Arena eating ice cream. That's the best way I'm going to recoup. I got to get a root canal. Sorry, and you come down to Bridgestone Arena and have a couple beers on Chase McCabe's tab. No, I'm just kidding. No, probably Joe Dubin's tab, to be fair.
That's exactly what you should do. Just put it on Joe Dubin's tab. We will have more coming in hour number 2. Chase and Big Joe, Dr. Crane and Chase with you today, and Christian on the 1s and 2s back of the studio. More coming next from the Omni 105 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Thursday, live at the Omni Nashville Hotel here at Bar Lines. Got a nice crowd in here for lunch. Hanging out with us, he's Nick Frazier, Dr. Crane, I'm Chase McCabe, Christian Skelton on the ones and twos back at the studio. Max Hers will join us at the bottom of the hour, but I hear Paul wants to weigh in on our conversation. Yes. Paul, what's up?
Not much. How are y'all today?
We're good. How are you?
Good. You went on a baseball trip not too long ago.
That is correct.
Have you ever heard of this Jay Buckley that does these baseball trips?
No, I haven't.
Google it's jaybuckley.com. He does, I just looked at it when I was driving a minute ago, and he does 26 trips. And you meet at a certain location, and you get on a bus, and you drive. He goes to 2 or 3 different parks.
That's pretty cool.
One of the things you ought to see it, and it's pretty neat. It really is pretty neat.
Yeah, we're looking at the website right now.
We went to Atlanta a couple of years ago for a game, and there were some people sitting behind us, and they were on that trip. And part of that trip, they went to New Orleans and spent a day and a half in New Orleans. And then from there, they came to Atlanta. But in New Orleans, all they did was just go sightseeing.
Huh. That's really cool. Thanks for letting us know on that.
I mean, there's 3 or 4 day trips, and there's 14-day trips.
And they do everything. Does he do football too, or is that?
There is, I think, when you look at some of the later ones, the ones where you get closer to the 26, 25, I think one of those trips either has a college game or an NFL game. I can't remember. I want to say it might be doing the Cubs and then Milwaukee.
He's got both.
And then maybe Green Bay.
He's got September 25th, Pirates and Tigers at Comerica. Saturday, September 26th, Iowa and Michigan at the Big House. And then Sunday, September 27th, Jets and Lions at Ford Field.
That's
awesome. Pretty cool.
Yes. And just ride around on a bus, go to city to city.
Very cool. Paul, thanks for letting us know about that. That's neat.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you. That's cool. I would do something like that.
Yeah, just go take a nice little weekend, start on like a Thursday, get a little weekend junior action.
Go with your buddies.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with that. I mean, look, we're both baseball fans here, so I mean, you just say baseball and we're there at the stadium. I mean, give me a nice, I don't know, ballpark Frank or a nice hot dog. I'm good to go.
How many stadiums have you done?
I have been to Wrigley. I've been to Busch Stadium. I have been to there's another one I've been to. I think it was I've been to the outskirts of Yankee Stadium. I've not been in Yankee Stadium.
I went a few years ago to the new one. I never went to the old one, but the new one, it's really nice.
Yeah, I want to go through their little Hall of Fame they have in center field, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so.
No, it's cool. I did Shea. I haven't done City.
Yeah.
And then I've done New Yankee.
I was attempting to go to Boston this summer. I have some friends that live up in Boston. Shout out to Pete and Ryan. And I was like, maybe Fenway would be a cool place to go. It's on my bucket list. They have like a cool little, it's like a secondary entry. It's like a bar out in like left field or something like that. And you go through the big monster, the Green Monster.
Yeah.
And you can get into the stadium. It's pretty neat.
That is cool. Yeah, I've done so I have the ballpark app and it'll keep up with all of them.
Oh, really?
Which is kind of cool.
I didn't know there was that.
Okay. I think I've done 16 now.
Okay.
Because I just did Cleveland.
Yep.
I hadn't done that one, so that was a new one.
Milwaukee.
I've done Cleveland, Milwaukee, both Chicago's, 2 of Atlanta's, Busch, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Minnesota twice. I've done both Minnesotas.
Mm-hmm.
I've done Colorado, so that's 10. I know I'm missing some. I'd have to think through it.
Arizona?
I haven't done Arizona.
No. Houston?
Tampa.
Okay.
I've done Tampa.
Yep.
I've done the Trop. I've done – so that's 11. I said both Chicago's, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've done that.
The 2 Atlantas.
2 Atlanta. Colorado.
think there was one in there. He said the old stadium and the new stadium of one of those
Atlanta.
places. Okay.
And Minnesota. So I've now done both stadiums in Ohio.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. I've knocked off a state. I haven't done the Phillies. Oh, Yankee. That's 12.
If you go to Shea, then you kind of knock that all out, right?
Well, yeah, but I need to go to City.
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't
true.
been to City Field.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, I think baseball touring to just different, different parks is just a fun thing to do with family and friends. And, I feel like the two on my list right now would be Coors Field and Fenway for sure.
Yeah. Colorado is really nice.
I've heard the park, like any ticket there is fantastic. I've heard the right field porch is a fun place to watch the game. And, it's just something that you can go do with your buddies, like you said earlier.
Yeah, 100%.
I do not like the new U.S. Baseball rule they implemented with the metal bats. Have you heard about that?
No.
They're implementing drop 4, drop 5, and drop 6 in high school athletics. So for junior varsity and varsity, I think it's a safety hazard. Like if you're a high school in Colorado where the ball flies.
Oh, yeah. So
they're
using college bats essentially? Or?
No, they're allowing a lighter weight bat in high school
yeah.
athletics, which is not a good thing. An 18-year-old that's like 6'1", 210, and you're going to allow him to use a metal bat that's 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 drops lighter than the normal drop 3. That's just a safety hazard, man. You're going to get somebody hurt. I don't understand it. So that's something that USA Baseball has to fix, but they just implemented it. They just implemented PitchCom to high school sports too.
I've done Baltimore and then the old park in Arlington.
Oh, nice.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do the new one.
They're using that for UFL now.
Yeah. So I've done Tropicana Field once, Yankee, Camden Yards, George Steinbrenner Field, which is the spring training facility, Shea Stadium, Globe Life Park in Arlington, and then Target Field, Metrodome, PNC, Progressive Field, Cleveland, Coors Field in Denver, Rate Field in Chicago, Busch Stadium, American Family Field or Millipak, Wrigley, Turner Field, Great American Ballpark, Truist Park.
Awesome.
So that's what I've done.
That is a absolute fun time with some guys there.
Yeah, I would love to see all of them. Even the ones that I have to redo.
Get out west, go to Petco.
I've heard that's like so pretty.
Yep.
The girlfriend's going to San Francisco next week, and I was like, oh, I want to go. So go see the Giants, but
that'd be fun.
Not going to be able to pull that off, but because I've heard that one's really nice right there on the bay.
Yep, the big old Coca-Cola sign in left field.
Yeah, so
where Bonds hit majority of his home runs in his career.
We didn't really have a question of the day because we had Will Power on, but I mean, I guess this could kind of be it. I want to see all 30 baseball parks. What's like a lofty, like kind of bucket list life goal of a place you want to visit?
Yeah, like top stadiums.
Is it like all SEC stadiums or all college stadiums? Or
yeah, I would love to do a college stadium tour. That is like all SEC. That'd be fantastic.
I'd love to see all the SEC.
I've been to Death Valley. I've been to obviously Starkville, Mississippi. I've been to Vandy, First Bank, Knoxville. I've been to Kentucky, Kroger Field.
Nice.
And
you've seen quite a few.
Yeah, I've been to 5. I think I got one more in me somewhere. I was going to go to A&M College Station last year. I had a buddy of mine that was on Elko staff. He ended up leaving Elko staff. Now he's at Ohio for the Bobcats. He's their GM. So missed my opportunity there, but maybe somewhere down the line, go down to College Station.
That would be cool.
But for me, like number one stadium, it would have to be the San Siro in Milan. Hopefully in October when I go for my cousin's wedding. They're doing well, yes, it will be in season, but I don't think not the day I'm there, but they're doing an exclusive walking tour of the stadium. They've never done it before. They're going to basically demolish that stadium in 27. So the fact that I get to see a historic stadium that's been open since the 1800s is just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean that'd be really cool to go see that.
That might be the only time I actually shed a tear for walking in a stadium.
We got to take a lot of pictures.
Oh, it's a must. Might even drop a few videos in there.
Oh yeah.
I might pull a Les Miles and grab some of the grass and just chew on it. I'll call that matcha. Whatever. Can someone explain to me on the text line what is matcha? I know it's like a green drink. It looks like something a cow would drink. I'm not calling people cows. I'm just saying I'm not going to be drinking matcha.
Yeah,
Ice with green, no thanks.
I'm not the I'm not the one to help you there.
And I love food. Don't get me wrong. Love me some food. But the
You
drink.
know how to cook.
Well, that's true. But the drink of matcha, what are we doing here? It's like drinking green watercolors. Like, this is not right. But someone on the text line, please. 615-737-1025. Is matcha real? Is it fake? Or is it just water with food coloring? That's all I want to
help
know.
Dr. Crane out, please.
I don't think it's an herbal tea. No way.
Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll have more coming here from the Omni. Max Hers at the bottom of the hour. Chasing Big Joe, 105 the game. Chasing Big Joe, 1025 the game on this Thursday. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at 1025 the game for live shows and exclusive content. Dr. Crane's going to do a cooking show.
Yeah, it's happening. Nashville's new flavors. Here it comes.
You should. We're at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Dr. Crane's cooking special.
I think that would be great, actually. That'd be good. All right, did you learn what it was?
Yeah, it's like an herbal tea, but I've heard of matcha and mate. Like the mate is like herbs, and you just put warm water over it. That's like a South American drink. But from our esteemed on-site producer here, Jake was telling me that it is a herbal drink, like a green tea that originated from like the China area. So of like way back when in history. So, but no, the mate is a South American drink. I've seen a lot of soccer players have that. That's like a green tea vibe to that. It's just like the greenish powder herbs with over warm water, and then you drink it that way. But that's not me. Matcha's not me. Mate is not me. There's too much. It looks like there's too much like build up to it. It's like putting together eggs in a skillet or something. I can't do it. But it just like it looks kind of gross. Like this is like a St. Patty Day drink.
Yeah, it does kind of.
You know, like you have the orange beer. This is kind of like the orange coffee in a roundabout way. I'm not, hurting or criticizing people that drink matcha. Sorry. If there's anybody that likes matcha, enjoy it. I'm just not the fan.
Dustin in Hopkinsville says it's the liquid version of the explosive diarrhea parasite.
Man, I've seen some
Dustin.
things about that, man. Taco Bell. Woo.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, it's always been that way, so I feel like it's no surprise to anyone.
Matthew in Nashville says, what is your favorite non-football sport to watch when there's no football to watch during the spring and summer? College baseball, softball, MLB, or the NHL, NBA playoffs? I mean, I'll watch baseball, especially the hockey playoffs.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
This is right up my wheelhouse. NRL rugby, PDC darts, Luke Littler, Luke Humphreys, 1 and 2. They just wrapped up the World Championship of Darts, like the World Cup. They ended up winning that. Right now, I mean, this morning, I was up on the treadmill watching my Brisbane Broncos take on the Penrith Panthers, who have been 4-time premiership winners. And obviously, my Broncos won last year. They're this close of not getting to the playoffs, but today was a huge game for them. They needed to win. And the boy, Reese Walsh, got himself a try that got the win for the Brisbane Broncos 14-12. So they keep their playoff hopes alive, and it's a fun sport. It really is. It has the personalities like NFL. That's why I enjoy watching it. The TV, that's the nerd in me. The TV broadcast is fantastic. They have really good analysts that explain the game well, and I'm just happy to be watching a fun sport like that.
So we kind of talked about this yesterday, that I have, and like the World Cup game yesterday ended. I mean, Argentina.
It happened.
It happened. So they advanced to the final once again. But I feel like I have been very invested in this World Cup, not just with the U.S. I've really, really enjoyed watching it. Expanded from 32 to 48 teams this year. Mm-hmm. As a soccer guy, did you like that? Or were you one of those people that didn't like?
I was okay. It was indifferent to me. Like, I was all right with it. Like, I think this year with the expansion of the World Cup, we saw teams like the DR Congo, Cape Verde, the more upsets in the tournament. I feel like when we as a society of sport had the old format of the World Cup, that's where you saw your blue bloods like the Netherlands, the Germans, even the French in some cases, where they just take advantage and really, take care of business with these smaller teams. Well, when you expand it, you're now more susceptible to those upsets. And I think it's the happy medium. I don't think they should expand it. There's been more conversation they should expand to 64 or even more than that. I think that's enough. I think 64 is plenty. Or I'm sorry, 48 is plenty.
So Bill Connolly, and I need to go through and read this,
sure,
has an article on ESPN.com what college football playoff expansion could learn from the 2026 World Cup. And again, I need to go read the whole thing.
Sure.
But he has like basically 24 is what it would expand to. Hypothetical 2025 CFP with all conference champions. So the first round would see the 17 seed Arizona at 16 seed USC, 24 seed Kennesaw State at 9 Alabama, 21 seeded Duke at 12 BYU, 20 seeded JMU at 13 Texas. Boise State would be the 22nd seed at number 11 Notre Dame, number 19 Tulane, and number 14 Vanderbilt. Number 23 Western Michigan at number 10 Miami, and number 18 Michigan at number 15 Utah. So basically, group of five, everything.
Yeah, kind of what I was alluding to with the World Cup expansion of those smaller countries like Congo and Cape Verde,
yeah,
where they had those upsets. Same situation here for college football, and it kind of resembles the March Madness tournament of these smaller Cinderella schools having the opportunity to upset the big dog. I think it's fun. It definitely has a conversation piece, but when we get down to the nitty-gritty of it all, it just college football as a whole, the TV product, they don't want it to be diluted. They want to make sure every game is like an NFL junior. They want it to be the minor leagues of the NFL.
All right, so let's just go through.
Sure.
This is what the second round would be. USC or Arizona at Indiana. I mean that's USC Arizona is a toss-up.
Yeah.
But Indiana wins at that game.
Yeah, last year, yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Alabama beats Kennesaw at Oklahoma. All right. That'd be a pretty good game. BYU or Duke. I think BYU wins. At Oregon. Oregon probably wins no matter what. Texas throttles JMU against Tech, and then they go to Texas Tech.
That would be fun.
That would be a good game. Notre Dame probably beats Boise and then goes to Ole Miss. That could be fun. Vandy probably beat Tulane, and then they go to Georgia.
It'd be tough.
Miami would win, and then they go to A&M.
Which did happen last year.
Yeah.
Played.
Utah, Michigan.
Toss-up.
Winner of that game at Ohio State.
Oh,
so
boy.
you could get Michigan, Ohio State again.
Yeah. That would be a big toss-up, Utah, Michigan.
I don't know. Like I said, I need to read this whole thing, but I'd be intrigued by it. But, I mean, the whole thing with expansion to me is I need to know that more than like 6 teams would have a chance to win it, and I just don't think you can prove that.
No, you're always going to have your 3 to 4 teams that are always going to be ahead of everybody else. Like when the college football playoff was first, implemented, there was the 4-team playoff, and I would say that was the best of the best. Those were the best 4 teams. And then you go and try to expand it even, bigger, which got to the 12-team playoff. Somebody on our airways has mentioned it before. It might have been you with the 18 playoff. That is the right number.
Yeah, I thought 8 was the right number. I think 4 was too little, 12 was too much, 8 was just right.
Yeah. And I
think
obviously that won't happen unless
they're not going back.
No. I think the only way you can kind of get to an 18 playoff is you do not expansion, but you do a breakaway league, which Mike Organ and I have discussed multiple times. And I'm still in the camp that there will be a breakaway league before 2034.
Like the group of 5 gets their own. Yeah.
Yeah. The group of, I guess, would it be the group of 6 now?
Yeah, it'd be right. Because you basically have like SEC, Big Ten, and a handful from the ACC and the Big 12.
Right.
Make like a 32-team Super League.
You'd have basically a East Conference and a West Conference.
Yeah. I could see that.
I would be all in for that. Just because with the way the money is being distributed across college athletics, there's no way you can keep giving out this amount of money in this current format. There's just there's no stopping it, which I get. Capitalism, all for it.
Well,
make as much money as you want, but that's the big issue right now.
What I think you would have to do is you have that league, you have everybody else. There would have to be a rule in place where you got to give 2 games. Maybe you even expand the schedule, but you have to give 2 games to like your smaller, like to the group of 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like if Alabama is in the Super League, they have to agree that there's going to be revenue sharing. They're going to play well, and also I think you do where they're going to give a piece of their pie to the group of 6 anyway.
Yeah.
That can be distributed. But, like, hey, we're going to play MTSU this year. MTSU is going to get a check like they do now, or Western Kentucky or something like that. And you got to help these smaller programs out. Because they're going to be your feeder league into you.
Exactly. And that's where I think we'll see the NIL really kind of even itself out, in my opinion, is that you're going to have let's say a tier system of if you're a group of 6 team or even like a Division II or Division III, you're going to have not a capped commission, but a certain amount of money that's going to be allotted for that program. And if you're trying to, as a player, elevate your play to a higher level, you want to go make the jump to that Super League, to the Big Ten or the SEC, then you're open to more opportunities of creating more money for yourself, which again, I mean, You go to the NFL, the rookie deals are not even, I would say they'd be the equivalent of like a group of 6 team if they had the NIL money.
I would agree with that. Coming up next, we're going to get back into the Predators schedule with our own Max Hers. He's going to join us. You hear him on Predators Radio. We will do that next here from the Omni Hotel. 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on to this Thursday. Live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Bar Lines. And we're just a few months away. Smashville will roar. Hockey will be back. And the 84-game schedule has been released. We say hello now to Max Hers from Preds Radio and here on 102.5 The Game. Hello, Max. What's up?
Hi, guys. You know where to find me for the next 8 months now, so I can plan my life.
Yeah. Looking at it, we've texted a little bit. I said to start the show, if you want to know what this team is, you're going to find out in the first really 20 games or so, because I would say it's a pretty not easy draw. I mean, you got 2 Central Division opponents to start the season at home against Minnesota and Dallas. And then you look at those road games early on to Canada, who knows what that is, but then Vegas, San Jose, St. Louis. I mean, you're going to have some tests in there, especially in the first month to month and a half of the season.
Well, there aren't any easy teams for the most part, and if there are teams that you could argue are easy, they're not on that first month of the schedule, except maybe Ottawa. But you got to show up and prove it. The Preds have had a bad start each of the first 3 seasons under Andrew Brunette as the head coach, and as it was going into last season, he's coaching for his job, Chase, and I don't think Chris McFarland as the new GM will have the patience that Barry Trotz had. So I think a great start is essential, and now you know who you got to do it against. You knew it was going to be tough no matter what. They will get to be at home a lot in October, but that road trip, second week of the year, same place they went on the road early last season, Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa, that'll be big.
Well, and as you mentioned, I mean, look, he knows that. I think we all know that. The players probably know that that first 15 to 20 is going to decide, does the Andrew Brunette era continue in Smashville? But at the same time, I think if I'm him, I would rather have that kind of test early on because hopefully you can prove yourself. And this team is going to be a different team. We've seen Chris McFarland come in here and make some pretty big additions. So I think it's good that it's a little bit of an extra test early on.
Yeah, it's got to be something that wakes them up and gets their full attention from the start. So I think the early start to the season will be good. Preseason will be shorter. And then they can just go and get it starting October 1st against the Wild. You got the Wild and the Stars coming in for the season opening 2-game homestand. Those are potentially the 2 teams at the top of your division, 2 teams that have been adding, and I think 2 great teams for the Preds to measure up against right off the drop.
Max Hers with Preds Radio joins us now on the Chase and McJoe Show. Max, when it comes to the, 11 back-to-backs that Chase brought up earlier in today's show, how do you see the goaltender distribution being handed out? Obviously, you mentioned with Chase just a second ago that Andrew Brunette kind of coaching for his job this year. Could you see him being more on the instinctual side of things, of saying if a goaltender has the hot hand, he rides it, or how do you decipher all that?
Well, I think if Justus Annunen comes into camp and performs well, performs close to how he did at the end of last season, and then he went into the World Championships and was in goal for every game for Finland, and they won the gold medal in the World. So he's on top of his game right now. I think if Annunen holds up his end of the bargain, which again is not a guarantee because he's someone who's never been a full-time starter in the NHL before, I think they can find a way to lay out a much better split for Saros and Annunen this year. Obviously, back-to-backs are an easy way to do that. But down the stretch, Annunen was starting the big games for the team. He started game number 81 when the Preds were still in the playoff chase. So I think in October, they'll find a way to split it as long as Annunen earns that playing time. And only one of those 11 back-to-backs are in October.
And also, when it comes to the back end of the schedule, the last 2 weeks, 5 of the last 6 games being at home, what does that mean? Not only for the players kind of ending the season on home ice for the most part, but what does that mean for them, but also for the fans?
Yeah, I think the Preds were slowed a little bit by being on the road last year with how taxing the travel was last season. And I think this year, looking at the schedule, they've stretched it out by a couple weeks. They did add 2 more games, but it looks like the closest to what the schedule should be since before COVID. There are a lot of stretches with 2, 3, even 4 days without a game for the Preds. And even though they do have basically the same amount of back-to-backs as last year, I think the back-to-backs are simpler, even though none of them are home and home, which is a little disappointing. But the travel makes a lot more sense this year. And I think by the time you get to those last couple of weeks to be at home, that could really help if they are playing for something at the end.
Max Hers is with us from Preds Radio. 18 afternoon games, including Halloween, Black Friday, New Year's Day. I mean, there's some, just regular work week games that are in there too. We talked about that some last year for the international audience. I love this, that you're going to have a lot of midday games.
Yeah, I think this is something that the Predators and the league have gotten fan feedback on, that people like day games, and it's great for families. The Preds have so many Saturday home games. They ask for as many Saturdays in Smashville as they can, and because the NHL gives them a lot of those can be day games, which is great. And to me, the thing that stood out the moment I looked at the schedule was the holiday games. You're home on Halloween, which is a Saturday. You're home on Black Friday. You're home on the day after Christmas. They moved the Christmas break by a day. It's now the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. It used to be there were no games on the 24th, 25th, and 26th, but the 26th is a Saturday, so the Preds are home on both ends of Christmas, including the Red Wings the day after Christmas, which is a Saturday night. Then they're home on New Year's Day. Then they're home on the final day of the season, which again is another Saturday. So 13 home day games out of the 42 home games is amazing. A couple of those are weekdays. One of those is the Monday after Thanksgiving, and then the other one is a Wednesday in January. And the Preds were the guinea pig for that last year from the NHL. I believe every team is going to have at least one home weekday day game, and that can also alleviate travel on a back-to-back too. So I think it's great. We do understand that there are going to be some people who can't make some of those, but it's something the NHL is working with. They think there are a lot of positives to it, and baseball does it all the time. Obviously, the summer is a different animal for whether or not people are working or going to school, but I think it's something that the NHL can fine-tune and really make into an asset for them.
Max, obviously it's fresh in everybody's brain with the schedule release today, but looking at it from a broad perspective, going month by month, do you compartmentalize the schedule a little bit and just figure out which months do the Preds really need to hit the ground running and collect points?
Well, I think October for a lot of reasons, and they're home so much too. They cannot afford what would be a fourth straight bad start. A lot of home games in October, not a lot of home games in November or December, and then really in January either. Then they're home a lot after the All-Star break in February. So October is going to be a month where you need to bank some points with, 9 home games and just 5 road games. So I think October is going to be a really important month. And if they can get into the second half of March competing for a playoff spot, they're going to have a lot of games on home ice down the stretch. Only 3 road games in the final 4 weeks of the season, and 2 of those are in Chicago against a Blackhawks team that, if you were home friendly for the Preds, but I think the whole thing is just better spaced out. I think the quality of play will be better because players will be better rested than they were the last couple of years with the condensed schedules.
Yeah, you mentioned better players because of the condensed schedule, so forth. Well, what are your thoughts? I don't know if anybody's asked you this yet about just the recent transactions that they've brought in with these players. What are your thoughts on Maverick Bourque being a new acquisition to this roster?
Yeah, to me, Maverick Bourque is absolutely the headliner of what they've done. I think that's going to be a signature transaction of Chris McFarland, and I think it has the chance to be one of the best trades in Preds history. To get him without giving up any premium assets in return, a second and a third round pick for the ideal player to join your team at the right time, at the right age, at the right position, at the right skill set right now. I think that was the perfect player for them to add. I think Jack Drury and Ross Fulton will be solid, and Drury's going to have a role for a long time, signing a 5-year contract. But to me, Bourque is the real headliner, and everybody else is guys who will play in bottom 6 roles that Chris McFarland knows from previous stops and knows he can trust. But the first big swing was Bourque. And I think over the next few years, McFarland will take his chances to do more things like that when they come up. But he's going to be choosy. He's not going to do it all this summer just to do it this year. He's thinking with the long term in mind, and I just can't believe they really didn't have to give up anything of great value to get Bourque and then sign him to what I think was a pretty reasonable contract from a team perspective too, 6-year deal.
Max, along those lines, I look at this roster, and obviously we've seen, you mentioned the additions, Bourque, Colton, Drury are the big ones, but I also kind of feel like they might have to make some subtractions between now and training camp. What's kind of your thoughts on some potential moves that they haven't made yet?
well, whoever doesn't play well in training camp isn't going to play on opening night. And I think that's great. And McFarland has just assembled guys who he thinks could fit in different places. Obviously, they have more forwards on the roster right now than spots on the opening night lineup card. So that's good. It is all about competition in camp. Nothing is assured. It doesn't matter if you're homegrown or if you're McFarland's guy or where you were drafted. You have to go out and earn it. And I think that's a message that's going to quickly leak down from McFarland through the coaching staff into the players. And I think it's going to set a new tone for the Preds at training camp, that every single job is up for grabs. Nothing is guaranteed. And the best players will go out and play every night. And it's going to be who mixes in the best. And I think that's what it's got to be when you're a team that hasn't made the playoffs the last 2 years. Everything has to be earned. Every spot has to be up for grabs. So I think he is absolutely managing it the right way. Will Adam Edstrom make the team as the fourth-line center? They trade a fifth-round pick for him. If he plays well enough, he will. If not, he goes to Milwaukee. Will Alex Kerfoot play on the fourth line? If he's one of the 12 best forwards, he will. But if not, he can be a healthy scratch on opening night. That's fine. Are Ozzy Weisblatt and Reed Schaefer NHLers? Time for them to stick. So everybody's got something to prove. So I really like the way he's laid it out. I don't mind that they have too many forwards.
Granted, there's still a long ways to go before training camp, but were you surprised that they didn't do as much defensively with free agency and trades to this point?
Not really. I think they've got 8 that they can roll forward with. So I think they're okay where they're at. The premium defenseman didn't come on the market. Like I wouldn't have wanted the Preds to get Darnell Nurse or anybody like that. So I think they're going to see how their internal defensemen develop and maybe try and make a move down the road.
Max, great job as always. Good to talk to you. And you and I can plan because we know what we're doing now.
Yeah, if anybody wants to know where I'm going to be, it's now on the internet. So go see that Preds schedule.
There you go. Thank you, Max.
See you guys.
Max Hers from Preds Radio. And, of course, does pre and post for home games, does a lot of the away games and play-by-play. And so we look for it. I'll handle pre and post for away games. So we're going to be very busy. Again, if you want to make plans with us, just check out the Preds schedule, and that's how you'll know.
Yeah, I didn't think about the pre and post away games for you. You got 11 back-to-backs.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're good.
I looked at those, and I was like, oh, this should be interesting.
Let's make a phone call to Sean Henry. Let's see.
No, it's not Sean Henry. It's somebody else that I need to worry about that needs to look at all this.
It's going to voicemail. Why is that? They get a new number?
Yeah, he does that. That is for sure. Appreciate Max for joining us. We'll have more coming here from the Omni Nashville Hotel. Chase and Big Joe are chasing Nick today, 102.5 Union. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Thursday at Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Some tour buses are here for us, so that's cool.
It's always a beautiful thing to see. Look, I signed autographs around 4:30, so we got a little bit of time. But look, I'll take a few pictures. I know we both are big picture guys. I know Chase has his autograph signing around like 3:15, right?
Yeah, right after the show.
So
looking forward to that.
You got to make sure the A-listers are out here, and sure enough, there's two of us.
Yeah.
No
Big Joe.
Last week when you weren't here, and it was Joe and I, and there was a seminar that the Omni had to reschedule, and Joe mentioned it, and I was like, I can't believe Chase missed one of his LinkedIn profile seminar. It was like in front of 2,300 people, and luckily Todd came down here and goes, look, we have it all situated. Chase going to get it done. So I think not today, but in the
eventually,
coming days.
I'm willing to come and talk about it. One quick thing, we got a text on the Preds, and I missed this with Max, but 304 when said, when are they trading Brady Shea? That is one of the acquisitions made a few years ago that, I think he was better last year, but maybe hasn't lived up to the contract.
Yeah.
I don't see them moving him. I'm curious to see, with some of the new forwards, how that might work. But I would be curious if, Marchessault's name comes up a lot. If they find a team, maybe you look to a team that kind of has a defenseman that's in the same situation of it's just not working.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's making $5 million-ish. And you find a team that's willing to basically say, hey, maybe Marchessault fits here. You take this guy. Now, Marchessault would have to okay that.
Right.
But I feel like he would, if it's the right fit for him, he'd be okay with it. And just a change. Because sometimes that happens, especially in a sport like hockey. There are guys that just don't fit in a certain place for whatever reason. You don't really have an explanation. And they just need a change of scenery. I think Marchessault is probably in that boat, and maybe they could find somebody else that is as well.
Like I mentioned to you yesterday, I know Ryan O'Reilly's name came up in the conversation, but what about potentially like a Brady Shea, Jonathan Marchessault package? Like to me, I don't think because
I think because of the money, that would be hard to do.
Right, obviously. So
you'd have to eat some of it.
Right. I mean, might as well. But I'm trying to figure out a way because we talked about Tanner Mollendijk yesterday. If there's a way to kind of have Mollendijk be in this rotation and somehow bump Shea out of the way, maybe elevate Perbix or Haig with Yossi. Would you rather do something like that?
Potentially. I think you're looking at if you see Mollendijk, this is based on conversations I've had. If you see Mollendijk with the Predators this year, I don't think it's out of camp. I think it's probably mid-year. Now, you could get to a point where all right, hey, we're not going to compete for the playoffs, and so you unload some veterans, and then you just bring the young guys up and let them play.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one. But, like, I'm even looking at somebody like Joachim Kimmel. I don't – based on what I've seen, and granted it's a small sample size, I'm not sure he's a fit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be curious if that's something as Max said, you maybe you have a competition in training camp with the current defenseman you have. If you think you need to make some changes, some of these guys at forward that you need to move, maybe you're trying to bring a defenseman back.
Yeah.
So,
like you said with the young guys, like throw it on the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, there could be somebody that surprises you. Brady Martin's going to be one that everybody's paying attention to. Where is he? How has he developed? I think if he's allowed and can play in Milwaukee for a little bit, that would be a benefit to him. But, we'll have to see what the rule says. And then at that, let's say that rule doesn't happen. Then you're faced with, well, is it more beneficial to him to go back to juniors, which he's outgrown, or just keep him up here and put him on a pitch count, play him sparingly, and just let him practice with the NHL team? I would probably lean that direction. But
it'd probably be more beneficial.
Yeah. But we'll see. So that's kind of how I view that. Shifting gears.
Okay.
Wanted to, I don't know if you've seen this, but Awful Announcing has put out Netflix earns the smallest home run derby audience since 2003. Monday's home run derby drew just 5.3 million viewers. So here's my thoughts. I feel like all-star games in general are just whatever. The home run derby used to be really exciting. And I think it still can be if you get the right people that are willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the slam dunk contest or the three-point contest in the NBA. If you have Chase McCabe and Nick Frazier doing it, nobody cares. If you get the guys that you see do that night in and night out or hit home runs night in and night out, then you're probably going to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think they need to do that. I've always had the idea of, do you do something with, you know, some retired guys that, you know, could still take BP. Now, maybe not going against the current major leaguers, but like do an old timers version and then do a new timers version.
I think they actually do an old timers home run derby and they play it at second base.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So they do stuff like that. It's not to the magnitude of what you're talking about, which I think would be great. Kind of actually have like a Friday night home run derby for legends. That would be pretty cool. They do it all in one day. They have like a high school home run derby, and then you have the major league home run derby. I think for me, when it came to the home run derby for Netflix, was the camera angles. And I have no ill will, nothing against like Elle Duncan. She does a really good job at hosting. But
I know where you're going, though.
There were some, I guess, little quirks about the way she presented the product. It just didn't feel like fluent.
Yeah.
And then obviously you try to toss to, you know, Barry Bonds or Albert Pujols, who I think were great analysts when it came to talking about the hands of the batter. She just wasn't able to put any input into it. Like in that sense, I'd rather have like a Michael Kay or a Bob Costas or even a Joe Buck.
I mean, Costas would be great.
Yeah. He's already employed by MLB Network because that's what Anthony Rizzo is.
Joel said, Joel's an avid listener, by the way.
Okay.
He's listening in Donaldson. He says, baseball sucks. End it Labor Day. No.
Sounds very familiar.
Thank you,
Joel. Appreciate it. Yep.
Thank you, Joel and Donaldson.
No, it's not going to end in Labor Day. I think October baseball is one of the most interesting things and fun things in all of sport.
It is, and I agree with you. But I also think if I ran things, I would say shorten the season.
Sure.
And look, if you're hell-bent on playing 162 and the TV networks are hell-bent on 162, then schedule double headers.
Mm-hmm.
You could end, to his point, you could end the regular season at Labor Day.
Yeah.
You could. Like have it be, you know, have the playoffs start the day after Labor Day or on Labor Day.
I'd be all right with that.
You know, I'd probably do the day after because you got college football, but then basically go through September, and you could still probably get to a point where the World Series is in October. But
yeah, I think if you were to do doubleheader games, make them 7 innings, like high school and college. Make them 7 innings. Well, I don't know if college has 7 innings.
Oh, you have just triggered me.
I know, but here's the thing.
I know why, but you've triggered me.
The reason why, if you implement a 7-inning doubleheader for both games, is if you have a pitcher like Paul Skeens, like I get the issue is quality starts, you have to have 6 innings. So you're kind of basically pitching them the whole game. I think Major League Baseball needs to put a little bit of a implementation of maybe 5 innings for that game. Has to be a quality start. Like there are going to have to be some different rule changes for that. But when you do that, though, that still allows that pitcher to be in the same rotation throughout 7 days.
Okay.
That's my only
I know we got to
to
go to break.
Sure.
But I have accepted Ghost Runner at second, even though I don't like it. I understand it. I've accepted it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the pitch clock. Minor leagues like AAA, they do the 7-inning doubleheaders. I hate it. A baseball game is defined as 9 innings. A Major League Baseball game should always be 9 innings. I don't care. Do day-night doubleheaders. You know, give them time in between. Expand the roster. And what they should do that anyway. I think the Major League roster, what is it right now, 25?
Something like that.
It should be 30.
Yeah.
Let it be 30. You know, like that's fine. Expand the roster. Have, you know, rules in place where if a guy pitches in game 1, he can't pitch in game 2, but allow them to have, you know, the roster where, you know, you got enough pitchers that you can use in game 2. You know, on doubleheader days, you get an extra guy. I don't care, but they're 9 innings. I think they should be 9 innings. I hear you. I understand. Like I know why, you know, the minors are doing it. but not the major leagues. That's just my opinion.
Hey,
So
respect it.
615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll have more coming from the Omni Nashville Hotel. Chasing Big Joe, 1025 the game. Hour number 3, Chase and Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Thursday at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Barlines. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. The Open Championship is underway from Royal Birkdale in England. Jackson Suber, an American, is leading the way 5 under today. There's a tie for second with Daniel Brown and Sanjay M. Trying to see it. Bryson DeChambeau is in there tied at 4th with a group. Morikawa as well.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact about the leader, Jackson Suber, never played a true links course in his life.
Well, we were talking to Todd Rodemel from the Omni here earlier, and I was like, I've always wanted to go to the Open. I'd want to go when it was at St. Andrews, but Royal Birkdale is another one that's such a historic course.
Yeah.
So that is underway. The Open Championship, the final major of the golf season.
I mean, hey, kudos to Bryson DeChambeau for once putting on a first-round performance. He's actually 3 under. Like he's actually performing. That was his big issue, playing in the live tour, and obviously there's no cuts in that tour. So like when he goes to play the majors, the game really did not translate for him.
Yeah.
And now that not really putting forth effort towards live, whatever that league happens with, I don't know, but he's full force with the major tournaments.
Scotty Scheffler 2 under, the defending winner. Done with his round today. Everybody's pretty much done. There's a few wrapping up, but Scotty's got some work to do. But he's 3 back, so he's
people
should be all right.
People see Scotty in the rankings right now, obviously being tied for 14th. The biggest issue for him has been his short game, and that's the putting on the green. Like even Christian can allude to this because we talk about golf a lot off the air, but and Christian was the one that brought it up to me. His results the last handful of tournaments, minus missing the cut, last week and the weekend before, he's been spot on. He's had runner-ups in 3 or 4 last tournaments that he's played in. So he's really playing well. It's just the execution of some of these 7 to 8 foot putts that he's been, used to hitting are just not going down.
So there you go. That's what's going on across the pond. Jeremy Fowler has finished up his executive list talking about the top 10.
Titans Insider, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about the top 10 at each position. They did safeties today.
Ooh.
Which I find that interesting because, who do you think the number 1 safety is?
Oof.
I don't feel like safety is a household name.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Kyle Hamilton with Baltimore.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
He's a veteran.
Darwin James is 2nd. Xavier McKinney 3rd. Brian Branch is 4th. Jesse Bates is 5th. Nick Emerwari is 6th. Antoine Winfield Jr. 7th. Buda Baker 8th. Kirby Joseph 9th. Kalen Bullock is 10th. Honorable mentions were Jalen Petrie, Trayvon Morig, Xavier Watts, Kobe Bryant, Grant Delpit. Others receiving votes. Kevin Byard was one of those. And Amani Hooker was one of those as well. So, but didn't make the list.
I think it was Ben Solak that put out a list of, top 10 rosters. Or he ranked the entire NFL roster-wise, and it had, I think, the Titans at 28, and talked about the, downfalls of their roster, and he mentioned Amani Hooker as one of them. I was like, how is that possible? I get he had a regressive year last year, but minus that, I think he still implements a lot to this team. Veteran leadership.
Yeah.
One of those.
I say yes, but they need Winston to kind of take Byard's spot.
Sure.
I think. And I think Winston, we saw a little bit last year. Need to see more. See what he can do. But Amani Hooker is solid. I think the problem with the Titans roster is it's just I like the moves they made. I like the starters. I just don't think they have a lot of depth.
Yeah.
And that's what worries me because we know what's going to happen. They're going to get guys hurt. And then do you have guys that can step up behind them? And right now I'd say the answer is no. Now there's going to be some surprises. There always is. But I think that's the biggest problem with the Titans roster is it's just not deep enough yet.
Yeah, I think depth, when we talk about defense, for sure, interior defensive depth is fantastic for a guy like Robert Saleh because he wants to apply pressure to that offensive line and that quarterback as much as possible. But you're right, Chase. When it comes to the depth in the secondary, when one guy goes down, it's almost like a domino effect will happen where you got to start, patching the holes with all the mortar that you can. And sometimes that wall tends to break after a couple weeks into the season.
Is there a player not named Cam Ward that you are, I guess, cautiously optimistic, excited about?
Yeah, I would say, and it was a name that was brought up yesterday, Alec Manor, just because of the additions to this roster in the wide receiver room, specifically Wan'Dale Robinson, Carnell Tate, and even KJ Osborne in some cases. Some people may think that, Alec Manor may take a backseat role. I just don't see that happening. I'm cautiously optimistic about Iowa Manor. Defensively, a player that I'm cautiously optimistic about, I would say Cordero Flott. It kind of, for me, it just reminds me of the Chidobe Awuzie signing of, yes, he was a productive player, but there were some injury issues. He's now had an injury issue that, to me, is a little bit worrisome. But I just got to see the product on the field when it comes to game time.
I am super excited about John Franklin Myers. I think he might be the best free agent signing they had this year. What I'm curious about, because I feel like moving to a 4-3 defense might actually help this guy, Femi Oladejo, because right now he's probably the worst pick of the Borgonzi era as a second rounder, a guy that hadn't really been a pass rusher. But now that he's going to be a kind of a true defensive end, does that help him?
It can, but because of his injury back in the spring and having these 40 days to really, kind of catch up to speed a little bit, how important these were. I remember Jim White put out a mailbag saying how these 40 days are very important for a player like Femi Oladejo. Not him specifically, but just the players in general. To me, I just think Femi has, lost his opportunity, and maybe because the signings of Jermaine Johnson in the draft pick of Keldrick Falk, maybe that is the safety net for a guy like Femi Oladejo. If he doesn't work out, then they can, just hit the ground running and forget about him in the back.
Well, I mean, I hope that's not the case because, again, you spent a second-round pick.
Sure.
And I remember I was sitting there doing the show with Joe Rexrode, and they made that selection, and we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the guys that were available and on the board, whether it was pass rush or receiver or corner or some, whatever, and we're like, that's what you're doing?
I mean, a linebacker that transitioned to an edge rusher, it's just I get it. You want to have that athletic versatility for an edge rusher because that's what you get when you have, those versatile players in the NFL, but it just doesn't really pan out because sometimes those different play styles don't translate to the league.
You know what I would do if I was Mike Borgonzi? And if he completely just flops and is a complete bust, I'd be like, well, that was Chad and his AI that wasn't really us.
Yeah.
That was Chad. That was all Chad. Well, what about, if Cam Ward's MVP? Well, what about Cam Ward? Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting you bring up Chad Brinker and also Mike Borgonzi in this conversation. Yesterday I brought up Dan Moore Jr. and just in general, looking at that signing, I think it was Terry asked him the question about, Dan Moore Jr. And at the time, yes, it was probably the right move to grab him. But you look at Dan Moore Jr. and now Femi Oladejo as those two little picks. Obviously, I think Femi wasn't a part of Borgonzi, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, he was. Okay. The transition years of
Brinker,
that was it.
Yeah,
Borgonzi.
He was.
Yeah, okay. So with those two signings, or I guess those two additions to the roster, how would you evaluate that if you're just a Titans fan?
Femi and who?
And Dan Moore Jr. If those two become busts.
I think Dan Moore is serviceable. I don't think he's they overpaid him, but they had to.
Right. There's an opt-out after this year as well.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of those you just didn't have a lot of great options. So I don't really fault him too much there. Femi's the one.
Yeah.
I mean, Femi could be who was that guy that Robinson drafted? It was it's on the tip of my tongue. It was the linebacker out of Clemson.
Not
because it was Derrick Henry, Austin Johnson, and
It's escaped me. Hang on.
why am I blanking on his name? But I mean that level.
Yes.
Dodd.
Yes, Kevin Dodd.
Kevin
That's
Dodd.
it. Yep.
Yeah, like that. That's where Finley is right now.
Well, looking at, and I brought it up about Keldrick Falk and Jermaine Johnson. If I'm Femi Oladejo, I'd be worried if coaches are not paying attention to you, because when they just leave you off to the side and they put all their full focus, which they should be putting their full focus on a guy like Keldrick Falk to get him up to speed, I think he'll put a huge impact on this defense to be a young player. And Joe's even mentioned this on the airways before of how he's such a bull rusher type guy. That's something that you'll have to get used to. And for a guy like Keldrick Falk, it's an adjustment period for him.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of questions. There are a lot of questions, period. But like defensively too, in a good way. Like, hey, let's see some good things and how they turn. 615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. By the way, Wyshynski tweeted this, and then I just looked at it. The Florida Panthers are hilarious. They sent 84 individual tweets out with all their games.
Good Lord. The creativity in the NHL today.
Wyshynski said, releasing your entire 26-27 schedule in a series of one game per tweet messages is absolutely wicked, and I'd expect nothing else from Brad Marchand's team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's hilarious.
That is fantastic.
I think NHL is getting up there with the NFL with their schedule releases.
Yeah, well, it's all about the content makers. That is for sure. We'll have more coming from the Omni Nashville Hotel, chasing Big Joe with Nick, 102.5 The Game. Big Joe 1025 the game here on this Thursday at the Omni Nashville Hotel. So is Orlando trying to get an MLB team? I just saw this on Twitter.
Oh boy,
is this real?
That's the first I'm hearing of it.
Mike Bianchi of the Orlando Sentinel. They're pitching a $975 million or pitching $975 million. This group called the Orlando Dreamers helped build a baseball stadium to lure an MLB team to town. They are offering Orange County a way to circumvent state law and put tourist tax money towards community needs. That sounds familiar.
It does. It does sound very familiar.
That would be interesting. Did the Rays get their stadium stuff figured out?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're staying.
I don't see another baseball team in Florida.
No.
If
Not
that,
in Orlando. You're too close to Tampa.
you have Tampa, you have Miami.
Yeah.
Like, why put Orlando in the mix? Like, I get you have a lot of New York teams, but come on, like this is unnecessary. If there's another team that's going to be put to be implemented into Major League Baseball, it's here in Nashville.
Yeah.
You just got to find a spot to put the stadium.
I would say the biggest competition for Nashville could be Charlotte.
It's very true.
But I would definitely come here.
John Boy Media did this poll with a bunch of all-star. I think it was like the all-star break. It was the all-star break probably, I don't know, 4 seasons ago. And they just added a poll like, where would you like to see like Major League Baseball next? Or like, what was the best place to enjoy minor league baseball? And like over half the people or half the players said Nashville.
Yeah.
And some mentioned Charlotte, which is a very, very big kudos to them. But I mean, Nashville to me just seems like the hands down answer.
Well, so what like major league sports cities that have other major league sports but don't have baseball have a AAA team? Nashville, Vegas, I know is getting one.
Right.
Charlotte, I think Oklahoma City.
Minnesota?
Well, they have the Twins.
The Twins, that's
St.
right.
Paul, their AAA affiliate plays in St. Paul.
That's right.
Which is convenient.
I forgot about that.
Like if we got a major league team here, I'd move the Sounds to Clarksville.
Yeah. And or like Columbia or
Yeah.
Murfreesboro or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'd look at. All right, Nashville, Louisville.
Yeah.
Well,
And
they don't
Louisville
have
Bats.
Yeah, they don't have a
Major
pro
league
team, though.
team, yeah. Huntsville.
Trying to think of it.
No.
They're AA.
Yep.
Birmingham doesn't have anything. They're AA.
Columbus.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Columbus. Were they the Clippers? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe
That's
so.
a good one. But I mean, look, we know it would work here.
It would.
I mean,
It's just the structure.
I'll be curious of how, like, when they get into true expansion talk, they got to get the CBA worked out first.
Yeah.
But after that, when they get into true expansion talk, do they do one out west and one to the east, or how do they go about
It
it?
has to go one out west, one out to the east. There's no
Yeah.
in the middle. You just can't do that.
So
Because Oklahoma
Nashville and
has to be the A's. The Sacramento A's would be Vegas, right?
yeah, but that's not. I'm talking about expansion.
Oh, more
I'm
expansion.
talking
I'm
about
sorry. I'm
expansion.
sorry. My bad. I misheard that.
Yeah.
It'd be Nashville and it's a team out west.
Oklahoma City.
They have the Dodgers affiliate, Oklahoma City.
Well,
Yeah, I
but
guess
they
you
could
relocate
get a
them.
major league. Yeah.
Let's see. There was one. Why am I? It's escaping my brain real quick. Out west expansion. Where was it? Let's see.
Utah. Oh, Salt Lake.
Utah. That's
Salt
it.
Lake.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Salt Lake and Nashville would make total sense.
Yes. 100%.
I mean, I know Portland's been thrown out there. I think Sacramento's been thrown out there. Charlotte, Montreal.
Either Charlotte or Nashville, and then you have Salt Lake or maybe Portland. I don't see another Major League Baseball expansion going on, including a Canadian team. I just don't see that.
So Sports Illustrated did on June 1st, ranked the cities of candidates to expand to. Nashville was number one by far.
Sure.
Salt Lake was number 2. Portland was 3. Charlotte was 4. Sacramento was 5. Montreal was 6. I think Montreal is always going to be thrown in there because there are people that would love to see the Expos come back. I don't think it's going to happen.
Could you imagine like the Nashville Expos?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be awesome.
But I don't see it. I think Nashville and Salt Lake makes a ton of sense.
Yes.
Because Salt Lake is a city on the rise. You know, they have NBA, they have NHL. Would not be shocked if they got the NFL at some point.
Yeah.
You
That would be a big possibility for them.
So I think Salt Lake and Nashville would make a ton of sense.
I mean, Charlotte, look,
Charlotte would be great, but I think if Nashville gets it, Charlotte doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, they'll be done for. And obviously, Rob,
because Atlanta's only going to be like Atlanta would not like a team in Nashville.
No,
because a ton of people like myself, especially where the stadium is located, are Braves fans. You got the Braves TV market that's here, and it's Charlotte too. They're not going to give up both.
Yeah.
You know, they would fight that tooth and nail.
By the way, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I hooked up an antenna television because my grandmother's TV last week we got struck by the lightning.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, she can't watch cable TV, whatever. So I plugged in the cord, the antenna cord, and I did
rabbit ears.
I did the rabbit ears. I didn't know you could get Braves TV on antenna television. It's
really?
It's like channel 4.2.
Oh yeah, they show select games.
I was
not
like,
all of them.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, they show some games.
I'll be darned.
Great television on some of that.
Fantastic job on that part.
Christian, back to the studio. We're going to do a little giveaway and give away some tickets to the Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix. We have a family 4-pack of tickets to give away. If you'd like to go to the race this weekend, be caller number 3 at 615-737-1025. You'll win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix at the Nashville Super Speedway this Saturday and Sunday. Good luck with that. We'll have more coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 105 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, the game here on this Thursday. This is Dr. Crane's warm-up song before the show.
Sometimes it's my walk-up song to the plate. I mean, I got a good old rotation of them, man.
Yeah, Lady Gaga.
Poker Face, Fireworks, Katy Perry. I mean,
yeah,
you go anywhere. I mean, any music for me. I could go from Rat Pack all the way to, like, Katy Perry, or I could go from, Willie Nelson to Lil Wayne. I mean, the variety of music, I'm all in for it.
I like it.
Yes.
See, you have an eclectic taste, and I like that.
Like my food palette. Like, give me a burger, I'll do anything with it. Put a fried egg on it. Give me a little bit of some, I guess you'd call it the greenery of lettuce and tomato. Yesterday we were out at Nash Dogs, and I was like, this would be a cool idea to do a BLT grilled cheese. So not cheese inside the BLT, but have the buns of the BLT be grilled cheeses.
Ooh.
Now that, folks, that sounds delicious.
Yeah. You just gave your idea away, but,
That's okay. It can be a part of the Dr. Crane cooking special. You can catch that somewhere down the road.
I think that'd be fun. We should do that. We should literally do that on the YouTube channel, Cooking with Dr. Crane.
It'll happen. I mean,
who would be your sous chef?
Ooh, see, that's tough. If it's Joe, he's just going to eat the ingredients before I even make the food. So, it can't be Joe. I mean, if you're pretty good in the kitchen, Chase, you could be the sous chef.
That'd be fun.
I'm just afraid Joe's going to eat all the ingredients. Like if we were to make cookies or something, Joe's going to eat all the cookie dough before it even gets to the oven.
Yeah.
Like he told me he's a sucker for cookie dough.
So am I. What I would tell you is get me some to eat, and then what we're actually going to
have a little bit on the side. When I was in high school, every Friday, the cheerleaders would give like some of the seniors like goodie bags.
Oh, yeah.
And it'd be filled with like Gatorade, Oreo cookies, whatever. Well, my good friend Grace is getting married soon. Congratulations.
Shout out to Grace.
Yes, shout out. She would always get an Oreo, a brownie. Well, she would put the brownie mix around the Oreo and then put a cookie on top of it and put it all together and put it in the oven. It was fantastic. That right there, too much of a sugar rush before a game, but after the game was over, we'd just nibble on that. Fantastic. So that might be on the list. That might be on the menu for Dr. Crane's cooking special.
So is the World Cup final set?
Yes, it is set.
Spain and Portugal?
Argentina.
Or
Spain and Argentina, yeah. Like I mentioned to you yesterday, it's going to be a chess match of who's going to cave first. It's going to be a lot of horizontal passes. There's not going to be a lot of direct play. This could be a 1-0 game. It could be 1-1. It could go to extra time.
Can you imagine if Argentina wins, and then I'm trying to look it up. You might know when Miami comes to Geodis Park.
Yeah, I think it's October 18th is when they come to Nashville. I could double check for you. Let's see. Inter Miami takes on Nashville SC.
So many damn pop-ups.
I know, right? Probably should get that fixed.
No, August 15th.
August 15th. Okay, I was
so in August.
Okay.
I mean, could you imagine if he comes here and he's won the World Cup, and I mean, just how crazy that will be?
If you're Nashville SC and you're Nashville SC fans, you want Argentina to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
Because obviously David Beckham is from England. He's upset that England didn't make the World Cup. They're in the third place game, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I mean, the ultimate –
he's trading Messi now.
Well, that'd be pretty funny. The ultimate fire under their butts of trying to say, look, we didn't win the World Cup if you're Argentina. We didn't win the World Cup if we're England. Why not go after the MLS, championship, the cup? And that's something you don't want because Nashville right now coming out of the break, the World Cup break, they're the best team statistically in the standings and in the points. So for Community Shield purposes, for the MLS standings going to the playoffs, that's fantastic. Now you have the Leagues Cup that's going to be coming up here pretty soon. It's interesting. And I was just reading online, Valer Shabilla tweeted out from BJ Callahan's media availability. He confirmed that Sam Surge is fully back. Eddie Tagseth and Andy Nahar are questionable, and Patrick Yazbek, quote, longer timeline. And that was something that I asked BJ Callahan last Monday about the availabilities of these players, and he expressed verbatim that they're on the right timeline. So
I will say this, for that game on August 15th, they still have some standard tickets available for about $100.
That's not bad.
That's not bad, including the supporter section.
It's even better.
So you could sit with the The real
back
ones.
line.
Yeah.
Sit with the back line. And the beautiful thing about Nashville SC at Geodis Park, there's not a bad seat. Kind of like Bridgestone Arena. There's not a bad seat in the area.
There really isn't.
And I believe Nashville SC, not a free promo, whatever. They're still doing the free ticket thing. If you've never been to a game, go apply and get your free ticket.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that's smart to do that, to help build your fan base.
Exactly.
Now, I have a feeling those prices are going to go up if he wins, but, that's not bad right now. So.
Yeah, and Nashville SC signed Elias Saad. He plays for Tanzania. I mentioned that name yesterday. It's official now.
Yeah, I saw that they sent that out.
It is an interesting acquiring player like that because 6'1", 174. You could look at him as a secondary striker coming off the bench. I mean, he doesn't have much under his belt just because of he's on loan. So he's here to get some minutes. And I think BJ Callahan can use him to his advantage. With Sam Surge being back fully healthy, you can sub him off in like the 74th or 75th minute, get this guy a little bit of some minutes here and there. I mean, you have Wubens Pacius, who's also still your secondary striker, but he comes off the bench as well. I don't really understand this signing, and I'll probably talk to more media members about this and some others that are more well-in-tuned as well. It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I would understand the Senegalese midfielder that we mentioned yesterday because this team needs a little bit of midfield depth, but I don't understand this forward acquisition.
Well, maybe they'll explain it to you.
Hopefully.
I hope they do.
Yes.
So they play tomorrow night?
Friday, yeah.
Friday
night?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Golly, it's already Thursday.
I know. It's crazy. Nevada Josh says August 15th is his birthday. So
hey,
there you go.
Shout out Nevada Josh.
The
League's Cup in 2023 when they had the final here. That was on my birthday.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, what a birthday gift. Championship game.
Brandon in Hermitage says, Nick, what about Liverpool playing here in a few weeks?
Yeah, July 25th. That'll be a fun one.
That's at Geodis?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little friendly. A lot of these European teams that come to North America and Canada and so forth, they just try to grow a bigger fan base. And
because Premier League starts when?
Premier League starts like in August, second or third week of August. It's always around my birthday. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of when a lot of European soccer starts is around first, second week of August. And, in 2027, MLS is now implementing their schedule change to be with the rest of the world.
Which is
huge because then you align yourself with the transfer market window. Now you don't have to be fighting against, well, you still will because you have a salary cap, but you won't be fighting against certain windows to acquire players. It'll all be on the same time frame.
Yeah, I think that'll be really good. Also, 0789 says, Freddie, the famous German Freddie, just rolled into Nashville.
Did he really? Freddie, I know you're listening. You love to listen to radio, especially on 125 The Game. Come by Bar Lines. Would love to meet you. I know he just reactivated his Twitter account, so kudos to him. I guess he just wanted to enjoy his trip across the U.S.
So he's been here for the World Cup, I guess?
Yeah, he's a German fan, and he's been traveling from one coast to the other, and I guess now that he's back on the Twitter sphere or whatever, he can come back around to Nashville.
That'd be cool.
A little hot chicken action. I saw you were showing me a video of Erling Haaland. Was he hitting a golf ball?
He was on a boat out in the water, listening to Ella Langley hitting golf balls into the ocean.
I mean, I don't know if you saw this or not, Chase, but he has a taxidermy collection now of raccoons, squirrels, and a few other, wild animals. And he purchased them in, I think, Texas, and it cost him $7,500. He has a massive collection now. Yeah. He has cowboy boots. He has it all.
That's awesome.
Americanizing Europe and Norway.
I love it. It looks like the Major League Baseball 2027 schedule is also out.
Really?
Which is cool. So plan your baseball trips if you were a baseball fan.
I always look for the theme nights because, as a Cardinals fan, they do a lot of really good theme nights of, giving away jerseys, giving away hats, little bobbleheads.
The Braves will open their season in Los Angeles against the Dodgers.
Ooh.
Their home opener will be April 2nd against the Astros in a 2021 World Series rematch. Very nice. Okay.
Cardinals open up against the Royals next year.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Nice. It's a little rivalry, too, down the interstate.
Yep.
They go Royals, Padres all at home, and then they go on the road to the Giants, then play the Padres on the road, and they play the Rangers on the road, and then, they actually play the Braves in the first month.
Ricky, if you're listening, the Braves are in Cincinnati, Ohio for my birthday. So my 40th birthday. So
you know what to get him for his birthday, Ricky. If you
then
don't,
that could be a possibility. Turn 40 in the Natty.
So does Ricky have any relatives that still live in Cincinnati?
He does. His dad's up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. Mr. Merritt.
Yeah.
So you guys go bunk at his place?
We probably wouldn't do that, but we could. You know? All right, so the Angels come to Atlanta, then the Cubs and the Reds all before the All-Star break. Ooh, they're in Boston. I've never been to Boston, so that'd be kind of fun.
There you go, a little Fenway action.
The original home of the Braves, too.
That's right.
Boston Braves. The Cardinals come to Atlanta at the end of July. So you can go down there and see them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I like it. Very nice. White Sox come to town.
What are your thoughts on the Braves right now? Obviously, the Phillies have closed the gap on the standings there, but
I'm not surprised. I just worried about the depth.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, there's still a long way to go. You know, coming off the All-Star break, and I think they're going to be active at the deadline. So, which is a couple weeks away. So I could see if you can acquire another bat and a pitcher,
mm-hmm.
I'd be happy.
It's crazy to think, but the Marlins are not too far behind as well.
No, I know. I'm aware. Trust me. Thank you.
A team driven on analytics is somehow still in the race.
Yeah. Well,
modern day Oakland A's right now.
Coming up next, we're going to do Where Are They Now? We've been doing that this week,
Yes.
which has been a lot of fun.
Well, you light my fire moment, Christian. Let's roll it, buddy.
Yeah, Christian, you're a part of this. If Connor wants to jump on too, we'll go around the horn and do Where Are They Now? We'll do that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe on this Thursday, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe on this Thursday, 102.5 The Game. It is raining cats and dogs here in Nashville, here at the Omni at Bar Lines. It's been fun. Dr. Crane, Chase McCabe. Connor Newt has joined us now.
The Rifleman.
What's up, Connor?
What's up, folks? I see our little game has taken the world by storm, huh?
It has. I think Big Joe would love this game. I know Willie Donick's probably listening in his car and probably loves this. I understand Adam wants to participate today. So I think it has taken off. Where are they now? Which you guys, which everybody can hear on Weekend Huddle on Saturdays.
10:45.
What time?
10:45.
10:45.
10:45.
That is good. With that, let's get to what day is it, and then where are they now?
All right. First list we have Get to Know Your Customers Day. Our customers are the listeners of the greater Nashville areas in Middle Tennessee. Guinea Pig Appreciation Day. Did you know in Ecuador it's a delicacy to eat guinea pigs?
I did. Yeah, I've heard that.
Delicious. Not for me, though. National Atomic Veterans Day. National Cherry Day. National Corn Fritters Day. Love me some corn fritters. National Fresh Spinach Day. National Personal Chef Day. And the last two on the list, World Snake Day and Rural Transit Day.
Okay. Very, very good. I have someone from one each from the Big Four.
Okay.
So I'm very excited. I am prepared and excited about this today. Who wants to go first?
I'll allow you, boss man. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go for
All
it,
right.
boss.
All right. We're going to start. Is Adam playing?
Yes.
Here.
There he is.
Okay. All right. We're going to start in the association.
Okay.
All right. NBA. Lakers, Nets, Clippers, Knicks.
Lakers, Nets, Clippers, Knicks.
Is it Mikal Bridges?
It is not.
Not Mikal Bridges. Mid 2000s, 2010s.
Mid 2000s to mid 2010s. Yep.
Let's go with. I think this is wrong. I'm gonna go Ron Artest.
It is not Ron Artest.
Wait a minute, Raymond Felton.
Not Raymond Felton.
Yeah, he's on
Okay.
the Thunder.
I will throw in a hint.
Okay.
In between in between the Nets and the Clippers, he played a couple years in another league.
Oh.
Came back, played in another league again, and then finished NBA career with the Knicks. And is I believe, an NBA champion.
Okay. Any ideas, Connor?
It would have to be with the Lakers if he was a champion, because none of those other three have won any titles recently.
Two-time NBA champ.
Lamar Odom?
Nope.
No.
It's not Blake Griffin, is it?
It is not Blake Griffin.
He wasn't a Laker.
No, he never played for the Knicks.
That's
You
true.
guys, I think when I say his name, all of you are going to go, oh, my God.
All right. I give up.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sasha Vujacic.
Oh.
that. I would have never gotten that in a million years.
I
Very
know.
familiar name. Man.
Oh, he was familiar. He was like a shooting guard.
That's what I said. Very familiar
Yeah.
name.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Man. All right. I guess I'll go next. All right. Let's go to the ice. Let's see if we can get our facts straight here.
We let
Let's
Adam
go.
play today, too.
I
Yeah.
know. Let's go Nashville Predators,
Okay.
Washington Capitals, Arizona Coyotes, and then played overseas for about 5 years.
Preds, Caps, Coyotes.
Very prominent name in the Nashville market.
Martin Erat.
Yeah. There you go.
Spot on.
I was about to say Connor Ingram, but
Part of the maybe the biggest trade in Predators history.
Yeah.
One of them?
Forsberg.
Well, I guess Shea Weber and PK Subban's is number one.
Very
That's
true.
good.
all right, I'm
Adam,
ready.
what do you got?
All right.
Okay, Connor.
Either or, whichever you want.
Go, Connor.
Go,
Okay.
Connor, go.
We're going to the Diamond. St. Louis Cardinals, Tampa Bay Rays, San Diego Padres, Cincinnati Reds, Boston Red Sox, New
Good
York
Lord.
Mets, Arizona Diamondbacks, back to the White Sox, back to the Cardinals, then to the Kansas City Royals, Pittsburgh Pirates, currently, I hope Billy Donick is listening, with the New York Mets.
See,
Oh,
baseball
good Lord.
is my blind spot, so I have absolutely no
Will,
idea.
okay. All right. Do we think Willie is yelling at the radio right now if he knows it?
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Okay. Cardinal. Say it one more time.
All right. Fasten your seatbelts, folks. Here we go. St. Louis Cardinals, then over to the over to the Tampa Bay Rays, San Diego Padres, Cincinnati Reds, Boston Red Sox, New York Mets, Arizona Diamondbacks, Chicago White Sox, back to the Cardinals for about 3 days, then over to the Kansas City Royals, Pittsburgh Pirates, currently with the New York Mets.
Is it Luke Weaver?
It is not.
Oh, no.
I have no idea.
I have no guess.
Tommy
Sean
Pham.
Oh, Tommy. Yeah, he was
That guy's been
DFA.
around forever.
Man.
Cardinals outfielder legend.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got one. And of
All right,
course, we're going back to the NHL. Here we go. Nashville Predators, Florida Panthers, Winnipeg Jets, Vancouver Canucks, Toronto Maple Leafs, back to the Predators, Anaheim Ducks.
Back to the Predators.
See, hockey's my blind spot.
Okay. Preds, Panthers.
Preds, Panthers, Jets, Canucks, Maple Leafs, Preds, Ducks.
Defenseman?
Forward.
Forward. Okay.
No, I was about to say Seth Jones, but it's not him.
Not Seth Jones.
I'm trying to think who's had 2 stints with the Preds.
Would you like a hint?
Yeah.
He was part of a trade deadline move upon his return to the Nashville Predators.
Mike Santorelli?
Indeed, it was Mike. I don't
Whoa.
practice Santorelli.
Wow.
Congratulations.
What a
Well, I was about to say because wasn't
Cody Franzen and Mike Santorelli.
Franzen, yeah.
Yep.
yeah
Mike, I don't practice Santorelli.
yeah.
Good job,
Wow.
Frazier.
Way to go,
That's
Nick.
good.
There you
Thank you
go.
very much.
Impressive.
All right. I want to see if Adam or any of you can get my hockey one that I had.
Okay.
Probably not. Go ahead.
All right. San Jose, Nashville Predators, Florida Panthers, Pittsburgh Penguins, St. Louis Blues.
Oh, man. Nashville Predators.
Sharks, Preds, Panthers, Penguins, Blues.
Okay. Man, that's one. I had an idea. I had a guess, but I realized you didn't mention one of the teams he played for.
Whatever Adam says, just put my name on it. It's a group project.
Is it Devin Dubnyk?
It is not.
Oh,
It's a forward.
okay.
2010s?
Mid 2000s to mid 2010s. Played 10 years in league.
Okay.
Okay. Played 10 years in the league.
And he probably went overseas afterwards, but NHL career.
It wasn't Joel Ward. It wasn't.
You're in the right ballpark.
Okay. Oh man. It's not Mikhail Granlund.
Nope.
Is it Marcel Gotch?
Yes.
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 All right.
Well done.
There
You
we
guys
go.
should just play the hockey version.
Well
Connor,
done.
we're going to be playing this next week when you help me co-host DVD. So be prepared.
It'll be pretty one-sided.
Well, we'll do more than hockey, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I know Willie. This is up Willie's alley.
Oh, yeah. This is like MLB Pickle, but on steroids.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
See, it's taken the world by storm.
I love it.
That's a good
I
one.
love it.
Celebrity Birthdays is America's favorite game, but this is climbing up the ranks.
Yeah. It's good. All right. Thank you, boys. DVD coming your way next. That is going to do it for us. Thank you to the Omni Nashville Hotel and Bar Lines for having us. As always, we are back at it tomorrow coming up at noon. And remember, you can go to unitycares.com/Big Joe. We want you here. We need you here. We all go through stuff, and you need to talk. And sometimes for us guys, it's hard to do that, but that's what they're there for. We're here for you too. You can reach out to us because we love you and God loves you too. Peace, love, and rock and roll. DVD coming your way next.